Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hope all is well. HaShem should help. Anyway, we're talking about the Sefer Rab Shalom by Rab Shalom Adler Zatzal, and we're on VaEschanan, and there's a question. VaEschanan El HaShem. Moshe was davening to HaShem, and I think it was 515 times. 515 times Moshe Rabenu was davening to HaShem. So the question is, why was he davening to HaShem? To get into Eretz Yisroel. So why did he want to go into Eretz Yisroel? So the Gemara asks, why? Did it because of the parshas, the beauty, and that the parshas were so meshubach, they were so great over there? No, not because of that reason, but because there are many mitzvos in Eretz Yisroel that can be done, that cannot be done outside of Eretz Yisroel. So Moshe Rabenu wanted to go to Eretz Yisroel. So let's continue on to be able to do all of the mitzvos that one can do in Eretz Yisroel. So let's continue on now. Here we go. Let's see now. V'hinei lefi ma shekasav hanoah megidim debechutz la'aretz ein machshava tova mitzurif l'maaseh. It's known what it says in the Noam Megidim, that in Chutz La'aretz, outside of Eretz Yisroel, he says the Noam Megidim says ein machshava tova mitzurif l'maaseh, that if one has the machshava tova, the good thought, the good intentions, to do a mitzvah, and then by accident one was not able to do the mitzvah, so it's not considered as if one did the mitzvah outside of Eretz Yisroel. Inside of Eretz Yisroel, it is considered as if one did the mitzvah. HaShem considers it that if one has the intention to do the mitzvah inside of Eretz Yisroel, so HaShem considers it, he's mitzaref l'maaseh, he combines it to be like as if one did the mitzvah. But outside, according to the Noam Megidim, it's not mitzaref l'maaseh. Hashem does not combine it to be a maaseh. So imkain, if so, b'chutz la'aretz tov shalom nivra. In chutz la'aretz, it's better that that one wasn't created, God forbid. In other words, we went through something, we learned something before, that they made a cheshbon, that there are a lot of mitzvos and a lot of averos. So if one adds it all up, it's tov shalom nivra. Better that one weren't created, God forbid. But since one is created, one has to do the mitzvos. One has to do as many mitzvos as one can, do the best one can, and of course not to do the averos. But okay. So in other words, they're saying here, imkain b'chutz la'aretz, outside of Eretz Yisroel, tov shalom nivra. So it's better that weren't created, according to the Noam Megidim, because in Chutz La'aretz, Hashem does not combine. It's not considered. If one had the good intention to do a mitzvah and then one didn't do the mitzvah, it's not combined to a mitzvah in outside of Eretz Yisroel. So inside of his Eretz Yisroel, it is considered. So therefore, one has a lot more mitzvahs. So let's continue on. V'lachein hispalel Moshe sheyichnos li'Eretz Yisroel. So therefore, Moshe Rabenu was davening that he should be able to enter into Eretz Yisroel. V'sham yihye lo chezkas kashrus. And over there he would have the chazakah, he would have the assumption of kashrus. V'yitzuref ha'machshava l'maaseh. and therefore, when one would intend to do a mitzvah, HaShem would combine it to a mitzvah. V'yihye karav l'schar yoter, and one would be closer to the schar, because in other words, one the machshava tova is mitzaref l'maaseh. The intention to do a good deed is combined with the maaseh. It's as if one did it, because because in Eretz Yisroel everyone has the chezkas kashrus. Everyone is considered as if they were 100% kosher. 100%, everything is good. But the question is, Moshe Rabenu was the greatest person of all, the greatest tzaddik, the greatest navi of all. So what kind of business is this that Moshe Rabenu thought that he, God forbid, of course he is a chezkas kashrus, of course. So whatever, if Moshe Rabenu thought to do a mitzvah, so of course HaShem would combine it to a mitzvah. So why was he davening so hard to get into Eretz Yisroel? So one can say that Moshe Rabenu was very modest. He was the most modest person there ever was. It's VaEschanan Moshe, Anav Ma'od. Mikol ha'adam asher ba'adama. I think the VaEschanan Moshe, the man Moshe. Anav Ma'od, he was very modest. He didn't think highly of himself. He knew that he was trying to do HaShem's will and he was doing the best he can, but he didn't feel that he was great and everything. He was very modest. So therefore, he wanted to get into Eretz Yisroel also to be able. There were so many mitzvos that can be done in Eretz Yisroel. He wanted to do them, to do Hashem's will, and also about that the chezkas kashrus. He knew that in Eretz Yisroel, everybody is bechezkas kashrus. Everyone is considered as if they're 100% kosher. So kosher, kasherus, yasher, straight and kosher and everything. So Moshe Rabenu wanted to be there too, because he was so modest. He was the most modest person there ever was, more modest than all of us. V'ho'ish Moshe Anav Ma'od, the man Moshe was very Anav, a humble person, humble. So he wanted to be in Eretz Yisroel to be considered the chezkas kashrus, which he certainly was outside of Eretz Yisroel. Okay, let's continue on now. Moshe Hoya Shavur, Kedas Noah Megidim. No, Moshe held like the Noah Megidim, the Noah Megidim. That says the Ka'amar, Ki Moshe Hoya Shavur Kedas Noah Megidim. Aval HaKadosh Baruch Hu Heishiv Lo. And the Noah Megidim says that outside of Eretz Yisroel, it's not mitzaref l'maaseh. It's not combined to the maaseh. Only if one is b'chezkas kashrus. That's what he says. But of course, as we just said, Moshe Rabenu was 1,000% b'chezkas kashrus, but he was the most modest person there ever was. Aval HaKadosh Baruch Hu Heishiv Lo Kedeya Hasheni. The HaShem answered him like the second way of thinking about it. Kedeya Hasheni. Shabeis HaKnesses B'makom Eretz Yisroel Ta'amod. That the Beis HaKnesses stands in, substitutes for Eretz Yisroel. It is as if one is in the Beis HaMedrash, one is in the shul, or one is in the place where we learn, where one davens, or when one learns. This is like a part of Eretz Yisroel. Uve prat, and certainly b'shor she'omed l'fnei HaShem. So, and b'prat, certainly, specifically, b'shor she'omed l'fnei HaShem, and at the time when one is standing before HaShem in davening, in prayer. She'omed l'fnei HaShem, when it's standing before Hashem, and the Shemona Esrei is called Amida, standing in front of Hashem, or when one is not necessarily the Amida, one is standing and davening in front of Hashem. And Moshe Rabenu was in front of Hashem and standing VaEschanan. He was praying before Hashem. Im kain therefore, Hello, Moshe Omad Sham Batfila. Moshe was standing there, Batfila, in davening, and he was davening to Hashem to let him in, to beseech him to let him into Eretz Yisroel. V'yispalel l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tuf Kof Tesvav Tefilos. He was davening in front of Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He. Tuf Kof Tesvav Tefilos. 515 Tefilos. Keminyan VaEschanan, like VaEschanan. Tuf is 400. Kuf is 100.